Hello friends, in today's video we are going to talk about very important term, or you can say the technique or instrumentation or gadget or device that is called high pressure, or sometimes we also call as high performance liquid chromatography. Okay, so this was formerly, or you can say before, it was referred to as high pressure liquid chromatography, and this is a kind of technique in analytical chemistry that is used to segregate, identify, and quantify. When we say word quantify, it means it will tell you the amount of specific components and mixtures. When we say mixtures, it means a blend or a liquid solutions. Okay, and with high resolution. Okay, now this is a broad term in chemistry or analytical chemistry, and this basically utilize the pressure driven flow of a mobile phase. If you see here, okay, this is my HPLC from the Ultimate 3000 thermoscientific brand. Pressure driven flow of a mobile phase through a column packed with a stationary phase. So usually a stationary phase has silica or solid particles, and mobile phase here is polar or non-polar depending on the type of analyte or the compound which we are analyzing. Okay, now the principle here is the specific intermolecular or interaction between the molecules of a sample and the packing material which is inside the column. Either it is silica or it is cellulose or any other kind of particles that is inside the column. Hence, the different constituents of samples are eluted. Eluted means when the peak will arrive or when the peak will elute, thereby the separation of sample ingredients is achieved. Now this thermoscientific HPLC is used in pharmaceutical industries, or it is also used in drug or other testing and clinical research. Okay, now already we discussed that it is a type of column chromatography that pumps a sample mixture, okay, or analyte that we are going to analyze in a solvent known as the mobile phase. It could be polar or non-polar at high pressure. Usually the pressure is around 40 megapascals, or in terms of atmosphere, it could be 400, through a column with chromatographic packing material that is stationary phase. And it has the ability, already told you, separate identified compounds, and as low as parts per trillion or parts per billion or parts per million. Because of this, HPLC is used in a lot of field, pharmaceutical, drug, forensic, chemicals. Now the fundamental definition to IPC, we have a chromatography. This is a physical method of separation in which the components can be separated and distributed between the two phases, in which or one of which is stationary phase, that is a column, and the mobile phase is my solution. Chromatogram is a peak or a graphical representation of detector response. Detector here could be UV, could be PDA, could be IR, or different type of detectors that will detect the compound or analyte versus effluent concentration versus effluent volume or time. Usually it is time. Stationary phase could be a solid, gel, or liquid. This solid or may not contribute to the separation process. Liquid may also be chemically bonded to the solid. Okay, supports to the inside wall of the column tubing. Usually the column we have here has a specific kind of length. Length usually is 5 to 25 centimeters, and inside diameter could be 4.5 millimeters. And the flow rate of the pump is usually 1 to 3 ml per minute. So mobile phase is a fluid which percolates through or along the stationary bed in the different directions. Specific direction could be liquid chromatography, or gas chromatography, or supercritical fluid chromatography. Now the principle I told you earlier, a liquid which is used as the mobile phase will move along the tube as a used as column. This column is packed with such solid support which plays the role of stationary phase. So the column or the packing material will not move. If the stationary phase and the mobile phase were correctly selected, the constituents of mixture are unequally retained along the column. So we have to choose the right stationary phase and right mobile phase. This phenomenon called retention means the ejected solutes move slower than the mobile phase with different speeds. They are thus eluted successfully from the column and separated at different retention time. Detector connected at the column outlet gives a signal corresponding to each solute, which is recorded as a chromatogram. Shortly we will see what type of chromatogram. In the working condition, the retention time spent by each solute in the column is characteristic. Suppose for the glucose, the retention time is 5 minutes. For the sucrose, the retention time is 5 minutes. So at that specific time, the peak of the glucose or sucrose will be eluted. The peak amplitude corresponding to its area can be used to measure the concentration of, here, suppose, we have higher concentration of sucrose or higher concentration of glucose. In that case, when the concentration will increase, the peak will become more broader, or you can say the area under the curve increases. So the sucrose or the glucose, which will have 1 ppm or 2, I mean, will not be same. The area won't be same for the 2 ppm. 2 ppm area will be much more bigger. Now this is a simplified scheme of the chromatographic separation process. At the time 0, with the idle stage, and the here we have the column. Inside it's a packing material. Now at time 5 minutes, it started to separate, and here you can see the illusions. So there is interaction with the stationary phase. Now, this is a kind of type of chromatography, or you can say high pressure HPLC size exclusion. Based on the sizes, the separation is occurring in this mode. Each column separates solids having specific size range. Separation mechanism is sieving. The way we sieve our sand, the larger particles cannot enter all the pores, will elute first because they have a shorter path or a shorter reaction time. This mode is very useful for the determination of molecular size or macromolecules, the bigger size. The larger molecule excluded when the pores not retained first elute. The intermediate molecules retained slower. Smaller molecules permeated to pores, strongly retained, lastly eluted. So there will be last elution of the smaller particles. You can say the microparticles. Now this is my chromatogram. So usually the chromatogram, or you can say this is my detection signal. This is versus time. So this is my, for this one is my chromatogram. This is my retention time, and this is for the smaller peaks. Retention time of a solute is taken as elapsed time at which the peak has eluted. At the time of injection of a solute and the time of elution of the maximum peak of that solute. Sample retention time will vary depending on the interaction between the stationary phase, which is the column, the molecules being analyzed, and the solvent or the solvent, which is the mobile phase. As the sample passes through the column, it interacts between the two phases at different rates, primarily due to the different polarities in the analyzed. Okay, if it's polarity of the mobile phase. The analyzed that have the least amount of fraction with stationary phase or the most amount of fraction will exit the column faster. Now this is my response from the detector, and these are different detection time. This is eluting at first, then second, third, fourth, and this is my sharper peak with higher area. This is also higher area, and these are the least areas. Instrumentation. Main components in HPLC include the solvent reservoir where you store your mobile phase, and then we have a pump which will force the mobile phase and the samples to go to the column. And this is my auto sampler. You can have a syringe that will be injector, or you can have auto sampler where you can pick a lot of samples. This is my detector, and this is my waste, and this is my PC. The reservoir holds a solvent which is referred to the mobile phase, okay, which holding 2000 cc of solvent. Pump is used to generate a specified flow, usually from 1 to 3 ml per minute, although manual injection is also possible. Nowadays we have automated system. The injector auto sampler, we can place a lot of samples. Pressure can go up to 400 bars. In terms of bars in PSI, different unit. Detector is used to see the separated column band as they elute from the high pressure column. The information is sent from the detector to the computer, which generates the chromatogram. You saw it earlier. Now the mobile phase exits the detector and is either sent to a waste or are collected as desired. This is my again this is my parts of the HPLC, pump, mixer, injector, column, detector, and this is start injection. So you can see there is no chromatogram. Now here also it starts to inject. Here it started injecting, so you can see some peaks. Maybe in the beginning you can see some noises because of the impurities. Now it started injecting. Again a peak has start to elute, and you can see there is a separation in the column. Here it is at the beginning, and here it's coming down. Now you can see though slowly and slowly you can see peaks after the sample has injected. Now you can see 2 peaks, and then the peak became more sharper, and then we have 3 peaks, and then again you can see a third peak, a fourth peak which is more sharper. So this is the way when the sample elutes or sample goes into the column, the separation occurs based on the retention time of the analyte or the compounds. Now spectrophotometric UV or visible detector. It is simple and cheap, most widely used detector in HPLC. Solute property detector. It's specific to solute, which exhibits an absorption in the UV visible range. Okay, 200 to 400, or I think it's 400 to 200 to 800. The mobile phase must not significantly absorb at the measured wavelength. With we have to be careful. We have to select the right mobile phase. With February solutes, the sensitivity minimum detectable concentration is about 5.10 to the into 10 to the power minus 8 grams per ml. The mobile phase HPLC, the quality of the mobile phase is very critical. The solvent is either water or organic, or it can be a blend of both of them. All solvent have to be HPLC grade. You cannot use a distilled water or even a deionized water. They have, usually we need take a deionized water or double distilled water. We have to filter using a vacuum filtration through a 0.2 micron filter, high purity. Make sure. Otherwise, you will get a lot of impurities, a lot of non-desired peaks. The solvent can be either purchased or produced using a convenient filtration device. Also, you have to check its conductivity. It should be in the range. Using filter and pure solvents avoid many problems. You don't have to use a technical grade solvents or analytical grades. You have to use a very high, HPLC grade solvent that can easily be purchased from the manufacturer or through good companies. Pumps and columns improve the quality of analysis. All solvents should be degassed. So you have to degas. You have to remove the air bubbles or moisture from the before using in the HPLC system. Now these are the application, not only the application of dye, bioscience, pharmaceuticals, environmental, clinical. The factors which influence the HPLC: internal diameter of the column. So internal diameter of the column, usually it is 4.5 millimeters. The smaller in diameter, the higher in sensitivity. The pump pressure, the higher in pressure, higher in separation. The polarity, solvent and column. Temperature, the higher in temperature. Usually you have to set the temperature of the oven also. Okay. Advantages is needs a small sample with high accuracy and precision. Non-destructive sample during operation compared to GC. And disadvantage in the skill, and it consumes a lot of solvents. So this was all about the HPLC explanation. And also we have different kind of HPLC. We have normal phase, we have reverse phase, we have size exclusion, we have ion exchange. So usually these are different types of HPLC. In our next part of the videos, this was the first part of the HPLC video. We talked about the brief introduction, or you can say brief about HPLC, its types, pros and cons, everything. In the next part of the video, we will be seeing the calibration, how to quantify different types organics using HPLC, its calibration and other things. So don't forget to like and subscribe.